Well, welcome. I am Elijah King Esquire, your host as usual, and I'm here with DannyBoy, prolific R&B singer and soul singer, and I'm interviewing him today, and I'm lucky to do so because he is a very busy schedule.
Thank you.
Alright. Well, you may want to take a seat, or you already are.
Let's do it. Let's
Get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Let's get it.
These questions may put you in a little bit of a doozy, just a little bit.
Okay, that's good. I'm ready to hear it.
Well, when did you start singing, and why did you start singing professionally?
I started singing probably at the age of, I think I was about 11 years old. That's when I first started singing in church. But professionally, I started recording my first demo probably at about 14, 15 years old.
What made you want to do music as a career?
I come from a singing family, so I've always seen myself. You know, as a little kid, I've always seen myself as a singer. I've always dreamed of singing on stages and being on. At that time, it was being on a show that was called Star Search. I always envisioned myself being on Star Search and being on the Apollo as a little kid, and that was something that I just knew that I wanted to do.
Did you ever get on Star Search?
I did get an opportunity to win on a season of Star Search in Chicago when they brought it to Chicago, Illinois. So I did, and it was great. But I knew, you know, even at that point, I was so young, but I knew that even after that, I wanted more. I wanted more than just the talent show thing, or you know, just to show up and have an opportunity to sing and be judged on it. I knew I wanted to be on some records. I knew that I wanted to be on TV, on videos as well.
Right. Well, now that we're at that area, what made you gravitate towards using soul and R&B music as your career? When there's so many aspects of music, you chose to go into these two underrated aspects at that time.
Well, I come from I like to tell people I'm an old man baby. My dad was about maybe 50 something years old when I was born. So coming up as a youngster, you know, we had these things called jukebox. You know what I mean? This big box where they had records in them.
Oh yeah.
That you would drop the money in to play the music, and my dad would hang at a lounge, and I come from church with my mother and my grandmother, and my father had the more tavern lounge thing going. You know, he had that thing going, and I was able to kind of be in between. I had that Jesus is on the main line type of vibe, and as well, my daddy gave you that straight up down home blues. So I was able to take that and integrate it to me and myself, and I think that's what molded me and made me want to just reach out to music. I mean, I sing soul music, but I think that if I could, I would sing a whole Spanish record if I knew how.
If you knew how, that's the real problem.
That's the problem, that part.
All right, now, why did you sign with Deathrow Records, and at such a young age? When did you sign? How old were you when they offered you a contract, and what did you bring to the table that made them want to sign you?
I signed to Deathrow Records at the age of 15 years old. I was with another company, an independent company out of Chicago by the name of Raw Dope. And they were trying to get a deal for me, bought me out to California, and Motown was interested. We had Warner Brothers interested and Scotty Brothers interested. And that day, the same guy was meeting with Suge for another group. And when Suge came in the room, Suge thought that I was a rapper. He just told him, told me, bust something. You know, let me hear you bust something. And I started singing, and he was like, damn. I want that. So I thought at that time that would be the best decision because there was no other record label as big as that brand at that time. That was the Motown of the 90s.
It's still big to this day. They still put out a lot of good tracks, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Now, what was it like working for Deathrow Records? Because there are some stories that Deathrow wasn't the nicest place to be. Let's keep it in those terms. It wasn't the nicest or the safest place to work at.
I mean, when we're speaking about Deathrow, I think that it was an incredible journey. It wasn't. It was an incredible journey because it was a bunch of people that I could say that I was used to. They just wasn't from the neighborhood that I was from. But here it is. You took a guy by the name of Suge Knight from Compton, California, and he took artists such as Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound and all those guys from the hood, from East, what is it, from L.A., from Long Beach, from Compton, and he took all of those things and took creative minds, even though everybody was from a different side of the city, or maybe from a different game, and had enough creativity to put them together and to be able to separate. That's one thing that I think people miss when it comes to Deathrow Records. They was able to separate the street thing in the beginning and say, hey, we're gonna make some great music. We're gonna do something great. And look what it turned into. So, you know, it was incredible to see that. And then, you know, when you say some of the bad times that it was, I don't think there was no more bad times at Deathrow Records than it was over at, you know what I mean, at Motown Records or at Capitol Records. You know, it's always been thugs around in this business, and there'll always be thugs in this business, and there'll always be problems, and people gonna always get their doors kicked in, and some people need their doors kicked in this business. I wish that well, I won't say that I wish, but I praise God for the growth in me, that I don't have the mentality of kicking somebody's door in because they're not treating me right. But if that was my mentality, it'll be a lot of hinges off the wall.
Well, what were some of the things you saw at Deathrow Records that you never forget?
Everything. What didn't I see? Great times, great memories, a lot of trips, great food, a lot of ass whoopings. I mean, it's like you know, it's, you know, I don't want to never let anybody think that it was all peaches and cream. It was death row. It was exactly, I told somebody the other day, it was exactly what you think of. Anything you thought of in your mind, if you heard it, yeah, it probably did happen. It did. You know, think of it in your mind. It was, again, and you take a bunch of guys from the hood and go to another hood. That's what you do. You stand together. That's what you do. You're supposed to. That's like, it is not just about hood. You could be from the same damn college. You could be from this college and from another college on the other side of the town. And if this college come across the street and say, we better than this, and it turn into a whole different thing, it's going to be sticks thrown, bottles thrown, and it may be a fight. I mean, it's in us. We're human beings we're made of fighting and protection. That's our DNA. Right. And it's just that Suge had a really a way that it's no different. There's plenty of Suge Knights everywhere. He's no different than Suge Knights that's out right now. That's in the neighborhood. They got oil shops. They got gas stations. They got movie places that own hotels. There's plenty of people that's just like him and have that mentality. I think where we mess up, and when I say we as the people, the black people, where we mess up is learning how to differentiate and how to separate. How do we separate? You know, it's almost like how to separate church from state. How do you separate hood shit from business? How do you separate hood shit from something that's supposed to last forever? Such as what Suge Knight and Deathrow did. That was a legacy that was supposed to last forever. For his kids. That's
a lot of information to take in. Well, while we're on the subject of Suge Knight, what was it like working for him? Because I heard that he was a prolific gangster. He had a whole city at his beck and call. And you were like his son. How did he treat you in ways that differed from ways that he treated other people who worked for him?
Wow. What was it like working for Suge Knight? Incredible in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because he was a person of caring, very charismatic, like a big kid with $100 million. How many can run into a big kid at heart? You know, he's big, and anything 320 pounds. If my damn dog can grow to be 320 pounds, it'll scare you. I'm talking about, you know, standing up big and 6 feet. If my dog can grow 6 feet, 6'4", and 350 pounds, it'll scare everybody that you walk up to. And my dog might take advantage of that if he see you with a burger. Or he see you with a hot dog. He might take advantage of that because...
You gonna finish that?
Yeah, you know, and you looking at him like, you know, man, that dog look like Suge. You know? But it was incredible because he cared. In the beginning, you know, I'm saying from the beginning, I wasn't there when Deathrow was the birth of Deathrow, but at the time when I was there, The label was more about caring. It was about family shit. It was about love for music. That's what it was about. I mean, people had cars and was eating and didn't have out records. Nobody knew who they were, but they were living like their record was out. Even myself, before I even had a record out, I was in the studio, but nobody knew who DannyBoy was. I was living good. I was living like I had out a record. I was eating like I had out a record. So, the the roll, when Suge changed the whole attitude thing to the roll and took it away from Death Row, that's when I think the demise and things changed. And I think the names was backward. It probably should have been the roll first and Death Row second. Because that was the final part. The demise was the finalization. It was the burial of Death Row Records.
Well, why did you leave?
I was the last person to leave. The loyalty. I was loyal to Suge because of the things that he did for me and how he looked out for me. I stayed there because I cared and I believed in him. I believed in him because he believed in me. He believed in everybody that was around. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt because the Suge that I known in the latter days wasn't who I knew before. So I was still dealing with that person, Suge Knight. I wasn't dealing with, should I say Suge, or I wasn't dealing with the Suge after 8 years in jail. And that's when I think Suge changed. Our relationship changed as well. Or it was magnified. I shouldn't say the relationship it changed, but I guess he was magnified in my eyes a little more after him being locked up. You get a chance to see what the real is and who real.
Well, what was he like after jail?
Oh, a piece of shit. A piece of shit. I'm sorry if this is supposed to not say curse words, so I'll say a piece of sugar honey iced tea.
It's okay.
We could say it, but a piece of shit is what he turned into. He turned into a bitter person that had been locked up for nothing. He turned into that person. And, from the sound of it, from people that know him before I knew him, that's always been the selfish ass Suge Knight. I didn't see it. I didn't see it because he was great at pacifying situations. He was great at manipulating them and making things look like what it wasn't. So, and I grew up. After I grew up and started realizing certain things, you couldn't give me small things and make me satisfied. I got inquisitive. I wanted to know. So how do royalties work? Oh, that's where real money come from? So who's getting my part? So when you become that person, the dynamics change with everybody. A lot of people.
Well, I heard that you have 4 to 5 albums worth of songs still at Death Row.
Yeah.
How come they haven't let you release them or given you the rights to them yet?
Well, the new label of Death Row, I think is called Wide Awake. They're idiots. They're idiots. They don't know what they have. And I'm going to give them an opportunity this year. I was like, man, why don't you try to call them and see if they're willing to give you a job to run Death Row Records and make you the president of the label and try to breathe some air on the label and reignite some of that music. And that's one of my goals this year is to, wouldn't that be some shit?
That would be.
DannyBoy is, Suge Knight, whatever you want to call me, his protege, his adopted son, however they want to name it, is now heading up the masters and that logo. If I could just do nothing but sell t-shirts and be in charge of selling the merchandise, I feel like I can make them $20 million a year, $40 million a year, and involve possibly some of the other artists that was involved in it. I'm not the only person that had records over there. It's a lot of people had great records over there. And it's gonna take somebody that had a true relationship possibly to help get some of those records out of there and make some money off of the stuff that they have. And I don't want to, and in no form and no way I want people to think that I'm trying to relive the past. But I want to make sure that the legacy that was built is always respected. And it's going to take somebody real to make sure of that. Other than that, it'll sit there and it'll die. And Tupac didn't do all that music for it to die, and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and the music that I did, and 6 Feet Deep, and I mean, you can name it, OFTB, you can name a plethora of artists that did great music that deserve for people to hear it. And if I'm able, I pray to God that I'm able to unlock the vault and make that happen.
Well, since you brought them up, what was it like working with Tupac, Snoop Dogg, the Dog Pound, Dr. Dre, just some of the biggest masterminds or musical artists of that time, and still this time too?
Well, you know, I worked a lot. I guess I could say I've worked with Snoop and I've worked in the same environment, I should say. You know, I can't say I really ever had the opportunity to record with Snoop. You know, I had an opportunity to record with Daz and doing the I Ain't Mad At You and a couple other remixes that he did for me and Corrupt. But I never really, you know, it was such a, you know, I dealt with Pop, you know, a lot when it came to going on, because I didn't really like rap. And I guess I didn't know as at that time, I didn't even know what I was a part of. I never knew it was going to grow to this. So I probably would have tapped in a little more to, you know, try to be Snoop Dogg. I mean, I respect him for what he did and what he created, because he opened up the doors for Deathrow. Snoop and Dr. Dre are the ones that, you know, that I give my, you know, I salute, because, you know, if it wasn't for them and what they did, you know, I would have never had an opportunity for Suge to do what he did for me. So, working around that environment, to be able to spit a verse or sing a verse or write a song in the same place that, you know, What's Your Phone Number and I Ain't Mad At You and Murder Was the Case and all those great hits came from, to just be in that same booth. You know, it's like being in a hospital where a baby was born. It's amazing. You know, it's amazing to have that opportunity to sit around that. So I wouldn't give that up for nothing in the world. If I didn't get anything out of it, the experience of is incredible, and it's such a blessing, and I don't take it for granted at all.
I remember reading a story that said you were on American Idol and you were on the semifinals, but you were disqualified. Why were you disqualified?
Well, I had just got through doing the group part of it, and they came in the hallway, and the lawyer, when I first auditioned for him, they said that you couldn't have a website, you couldn't have you had to take all your social media stuff down, and I did all of that. And then I kind of played it really low key, that I did some backgrounds for Tupac. That's it. I didn't say I was an artist on Death Row. And once they seen that, it was like, okay, what songs? And I told them, and they was like, wait, you don't qualify. Basically, it have to be a fair ground. You know, you can't be an artist or an established artist competing in a talent show, so to say. So they, you know, I was like, well, I just sung backgrounds, and I kind of stayed on that. And they wrote me back, and they thought about it, and they wrote me back, and they said, okay, and I had one in San Francisco, and it was time for me to go to Hollywood before they would let me go to Hollywood, even though I was living here. They took about a week to think about it, and they finally decided, you know, okay, come on, we'll let you come. And I got in the competition, and the day of the groups, where they had just started doing top 20, in the day of groups, the lawyer came in the hallway, and everybody that worked for them are like from Europe, so they have this heavy accent.
Right.
You know, and he took these papers, he had these papers, and he said, what in the fuck is this? I looked at it, and when I opened it up, it was Deathrow website with pictures of me on it, and pictures of DannyBoy album coming this.
This was after you left Deathrow, or
yeah,
when you still working?
I left the label, but was still trying to get off of the label, so to say. No, I was off the label.
So your former label was promoting you, which got you disqualified from American Idol.
Got me disqualified.
Ain't that something?
And they pulled that paper out. They pulled that paper out and slapped it on me, and I looked at it, and he really didn't say nothing. I just read it, and I did good. We did good that day. And the next time I seen it, they took me and put us all in this room, and I was in there with great singers. I'm like, I'm cool, because he could sing, she could sing, we good. And that was the room they came in and cut. That's the room that they cut.
Dang. Yeah. Well, you got a new book out. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Stranded on Death Row.
Yes.
What is it about, and what made you write it?
Well, Stranded on Death Row is exactly about.
Oh, this is his book, by the way. If you haven't got it, go get it. Get it.
Yes. That Stranded on Death Row is exactly about some of those things. My musical journey before coming to Death Row, and it started out, at my birth. My mother had my brother Gary. He was born October the 31st, 1976. I'm telling my business. 1976 he was born, and he died several weeks later. And that next year, I was born the same day. And so I kind of started it there because I thought that was the beginning of something special. And I'm not saying it because it's me, but just to look at that situation, like, wow, you had a brother born the same day that wasn't my twin, that didn't make it. Just that alone, and to be able to share that story about that. And I started there, and it go all the way through my childhood, being teased, to talking about, I guess that would cover, bullying, so to say, and the effects of what that had on me. And I went from that to talking about, trying to get a record deal. All my travels through Death Row, my recording sessions, and, what it was like, and what better story? I was one of the people to go get Pac out of jail. There wasn't many people there, and I shared that story. I mean, people always ask me, how was it working with Pac, and what was Pac like? You know what I mean? And I was, over the years, it took me 9 years to compile everything that I thought about, everything that I went through, and to envision it. And I lost my mother at the age of 16 while recording with Suge, and how he became my guardian. Because my father, I love my father. My father was incredible. My father was an incredible man. And so I don't want anyone to think that I was adopted by him due to the fact that my people didn't want me. I was adopted by him because in order to work in LA, in an entertainment business, you gotta have a guardian. And I was 15 years old. I got on a plane and come all the way from Chicago. And my daddy was 60-something years old, doing construction. He wasn't coming down here to change his whole life because, you want to sing with these rap niggas. That's what my dad would say. So I came out here on my own with a mission, on a mission. And I share those stories and about me dating someone that committed suicide, and that's a story in itself. How do you come from a rap label, and how are you under Suge Knight, and you're adopted by Suge, and you're around all these gangsters, and you come up around hip hop, and you're bisexual, and you're gay. A lot of people have those questions because those are some things that I said on my own online. Those are some things that I admitted to on my own online. You don't have to talk to anybody else about it. I shared it. I said it. I said when it was over. I said why I said it. I said why I came out with it. And I'm just sharing my story, man. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. And one thing that I really love about the Bible, one of I'm not quite sure what scripture it is, but one that I truly remember to the bottom of my heart is to write the vision and make it plain. Write the vision, write it out. Before the Bible was written, I can imagine, when the Bible was being written, it was being written to leave a story, to tell about what went on, to leave history. And I hope this is something that my kids can look up and they can understand me more. I hope that when the world pick this up, they can understand me more. And this would give me my platform to do what God has created me to do, to speak and to help people. To speak and help people and to sing to the masses. And I'm going to use this as a platform. So y'all go ahead and stranded on death row.
Mm-hmm. Do you think anyone's going to be upset with you for what you said in your book?
A lot of people. I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't tell you how excited I am about how many people's going to be upset. Yeah, for sure. Because I said some things. I didn't want it to be a superhead book. I didn't want it to be a tell-all book. I like to say that it's a share all. And I don't know if it's safe to say share all because I only shared what I wanted to. And I shared what I thought was appropriate. But I didn't, people that know me know that I'm very vocal and strong. If I believe in it, I'm going to say it. I don't care what people think. So I did that a lot in writing. So, Ray J gonna be mad. That's one person. I'm sure she'll be mad. I'm sorry I won't refer to him as a she. He's married now. But I'm sure he'll be a little upset. But it's a couple people that'll be upset. She'll be upset because of some of the things I said. It was the truth. But a lot of people don't like the truth. A lot of people don't like, or if you do it, they want you to sugarcoat it. So, they might be a little pissed off, but I learned that it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. So,
Well, before we go, I have a picture of someone that I think you may know by the name of Chuck. Chuck. Yeah, his name's Chuck. He's a nice, tall, 6-foot man. This is Chuck.
Who? Who is that?
That's Chuck.
Chuck.
That's what Suge told me when I met him.
That nigga look like Suge. Talk about. He told you his name was Chuck?
He told me his name was Chuck.
That's super funny. Chuck. Yeah, hopefully he changed his name to Chuck.
Chuck Knight.
Hopefully he can get that person's attitude or something.
He seemed really chill when I met him.
Yeah, he's a nice dude, man. Really nice dude. I just think he come from a great family, come from great people. I love his mother. I love his father and his sisters. And it's really sad to see him going through what he's going through. Even though I went through what I went through. I'm strong. I was made for this. This was planned in the beginning when my mother and my father was rushing to the hospital. This was already planned. I didn't know that it was going to be Suge that I was going to run into, but this was in God's plan. And what I learned from it is when it's in his plan, you could be upset. I was bitter a long time because I lost a lot of stuff. But I didn't even, the good part is I didn't lose stuff that was mine. I lost things that was loaned to me. And it's a difference. Because, if your mama lend you her jacket and you lose it, your mama might be upset with you for losing her jacket because that's her jacket. And she wants you to be responsible for having that jacket.
Right.
But if your mama lend it to you and you put it on and you take it off and she leave it while you got it, she could be a little mad, but you the one left it, even though I had it.
Right.
And I'm saying that to say the things that Suge loaned me, he could be mad for the things that I said, but it wasn't my fault that I don't still have those things. I just didn't know that they were being loaned. I didn't know the cars and the gifts, all those things were being loaned to me. Those are things that I was working for. And it didn't do anything. I'm not mad anymore. That's why I can kind of forgive him because it matured me and it showed me how to forgive and how to unlock things and how to treat other artists. As a leading person of a label, how are you gonna treat people? How do you want to be treated as an artist? So I didn't like it. Maybe I didn't get the money that I was supposed to get, but I got so much knowledge out of it. It was like going to college and, you know what I mean? My guy, Mom P, She texted me the other day and she said, "Be encouraged today, Dr. DannyBoy Stewart, PhD, Deathrow Records University." And that was powerful for me. Because out of everything, if I didn't get anything, I got so much knowledge. I got so much knowledge and I have so many memories. And I've done so many things that people that had a chance to live my age triple. I did things my daddy didn't get an opportunity to do. Out of 84 years, my daddy didn't even get a chance to do that. Out of 50 years, my mama didn't do that. Out of 78, 79 years, grandma didn't do that. So I praise God just for that. That's what our parents wish. They wish for us to do a little better than them, to be more successful than them. So if I don't get a chance to do any of those things again, I think I made my mother happy. I think her spirit is rejoicing. I think my father's spirit before he left here and right now, I think, and what's crazy is my dad died, my mother died at 16, when I was 16, February the 8th, 1995. And my dad died February the 8th, 2011, the same day, 18 years apart. It's a story in that. Yeah, I'm gonna make some money off of selling these books, for sure. But it's stories in there that's gonna help somebody. Cause I know I talk to people all the time that deal with, I came out because the guy that I was creeping around with committed suicide. You can't imagine how many other people I talk to that's facing suicide. Not because of their sexuality, but just because of just being teased over things in school, being teased over just life ain't right, their job not going right, their wife don't like them. One guy was about to kill himself in Chicago. This man is a philanthropist. He worked for the streets. He's out there, and he was about to kill himself because he felt like he was doing stuff and church wasn't helping him. People wasn't helping him with that striving. He feel like we losing Chicago, so he can't live. So people were negotiating him to live. So I think my story is gonna help people to let them know that, and it's been hard. It's not easy coming from death row and being around all these people and what my inbox get about me liking boys and Pac will kill me and you're a bitch ass nigga and Pac will never work with you and this and that. That's a hard thing to take daily. But I'm made for this. And it's not for me, it's for somebody else. I just don't know who it's for yet. And I'm just a vessel. I thank God for using me as a vessel. I thank him for using, he could have used anybody else. There's so many Danny Boys in the world. There's so many other people that could sing. There's so many other people that got great lyrics. But he allowed me. He allowed me to sing a song that people remember from 21 years ago. I know so many other people that made songs 15 years ago and people don't even know that song. And it's not even about me. People may not even know my name when they meet me, but I could sing that song and they'd be like, oh, I remember. And that's what the purpose is for. If I never sing on the stage again, it's a reason that he gave me that platform. So I'm just right now I'm walking, I'm trying to stay on the guided light and walk that straight line, and I understand that there's gonna be detours along the way. And it's been detours along the way. And the good part about GPS, man, that's what I like about GPS, that's what I like about Waze. You can put the address in, and it's gonna take you to where you have to go. And no matter what's ahead, it'll tell you, I like Waze because it'll tell you up there it's a can in the street, it's an object on the ground. Turn left. It gives you everything to do if you just listen. And I learned that it take us to listen, even with this thing with me doing hip hop and soul music. If I stay lined up with what my mother and my grandmother has always plugged me in, and that's the God. That's the Jesus. If I stay lined up and try my best, if you put me first in all things, man, people call me crazy, but I think the stripper should pray before she hit the pole. think the gas man should pray before he go cut off a line. I think the policeman should pray before he sit in a squad car. Because that's the God we serve. He accepts us as we are. And if we stay lined up with him, man, you don't have to worry, man. Everything that we doing is, that's why I've been protected. I didn't know why. I didn't know why I was, how you get all this stuff and you don't have all this stuff and you go from this to being homeless. But you still got your sense. You still not waking up in the morning. I never woke up in the morning and took my sock out my drawer and put it on my head. It's people that wake up in the morning and can't even remember where to put the socks at. How to put their leg in their pants because they done lost their mind. A dementia done stepped in, or a nervous breakdown. I done broke down a lot, but I ain't been nervous. I broke down a lot, and God has given me an opportunity each time to build myself back up. Get up. Remember, Danny? And that's what I always remember. When I was facing suicide, when I was suicidal, I was sitting in the room and I had just lost 2 sisters in the same year. I was praying to God to die. Please don't wake me up. I would wake up in the morning and I would cry because I woke up again. I was going to blow my brains out, but I couldn't do that because my kids. What would they think if I was to kill myself? And that's all that I would think in my mind. It's so many people that go through that. But all my journeys, all the things that I've been through is to show other people, man, how did you make it through that? How you make it through dating somebody that took your necktie, put it on the hinge and step off? How did you make it through that? So I hope to be a beacon, man. I don't mean that I always talk. I guess I always take my interviews and I be on hip hop channels and they be like, man, dude, you talking about God a lot. But I'm not going nowhere where I can't talk about it. I don't want to talk to people that don't want to hear about it. Gay, bisexual, trisexual, nasty sexual, whatever the hell you want to call me. I love the Lord. I love people. And I love what I do. I love what I do. I don't know where this journey is going to take me. But it's going to take me somewhere. And I'll be honest to you, when I step on stages with doing these backgrounds and being a part of these other artists and with them and doing backgrounds for Casey and JoJo, every time I step out on the stage, I never see myself as an artist when I step on it. And that's scary. I never see myself as a singer. When I step out there, every time I step out on those stages, I've looked at 30,000 seats and I've seen all of them full. And it's never been a vision of them being there for me for singing. It's never been that vision. It's always been to talk and to speak and to help people do something. Every time. So, I don't want to say I'm no preacher now because I don't really like the whole churchy shit. I like relationship. Throughout all of that I've been through, I learned to have a relationship with God and get away from I'm a part of the Church of God of Christ, Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Sanctified Evangelistical Baptist bullshit church. I don't play it. I don't play that, nah. No. Thank you, Deathrow. Thank you, Suge, for building this with me. You made me a man.
Oh, he's gonna take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Come on.
Well, thank you for your time. I know you have a very busy schedule, but again, I want to thank you. And thank you for this knowledge you've given me, for this insight into your life.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and your Facebook Live, which is rotating to the wall.
Yes, it's just going everywhere. I thank you as well, man. I want to say to you, I am very much honored and just to hear you articulate and to hear your interview. Like I'm so impressed. And I see you going a long way, man.
Thank you. Articulation came from that one. That one right there. Yeah, you.
I can't wait to see you on CNN, man. One of those channels. Don't forget your uncle. I'll just be there. I might be singing at basketball games and shit. I appreciate you. One love, y'all. Legendary DannyBoy Instagram. DannyBoy, my fan page on Facebook. And any more information, if you can't find that, you might be looking for my social security number. I promise it's not out there, but at least you can try. You can find that on IamDannyBoy.com. I love y'all so much. I ain't mad at you. No, I ain't mad at you. No, no. Peace. God bless.
I didn't expect that one.
Oh.